Okay, hello everybody. Today we will work on assignment April 15th, algebra. What we're going to be doing today is identify quadratic graphs from the equation. So you'll get an equation, it says sketch the graph of each function. So this is the equation or function, and you're going to see A, B, C, or D. Which one of those matches that equation? Okay, so first, if you want, you can go to the translations. And the translations, if you go to home and then go down here, April 15th, you click on that. Okay, and then you see the assignment link that you just saw right there. So if you don't have it, you can click on that to get your assignment. You can click it on this right here. Here's the video you're watching right now. Okay, and then there should be a document. Hold on. Okay, there we go. This is the document for translation. So make sure you download that so that you can translate it for your language. Okay, so make sure you do that. So you might want to start by translating this and this. Okay, and basically, here's the directions for questions 1 through 12. So the first thing is when you see this, this is what we're going to do for all questions today, all of the questions 1, 2, all the way down to 12. So you can see directions for questions are 1 through 12 are the same for every question. So this is the thing that you need to translate to make sure you understand. Also, make sure these are your strategies or steps. So make sure you translate these right here. The first one says, this one right here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is this one. So translate that, and that's how we're going to work our way through it. Okay, so the first question we see is right here. This is our function or equation, and one of these graphs matches it. So what we're going to do, step number 1 tells us to, hold on. Okay, so this is step number 1 right here. So again, translate that, make sure you understand it. So we're going to make a table. So I'm going to go back over here. And so to make a table, we can just go over here, right? X, and then f of x. What is the result? F of x. Remember, that can be the same as y, okay? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to make the first one, we start with 0. And remember, we're going to put it over here. So I'm going to make it bigger. So that means f of 0 is what we're going to do is equal to what? Is equal to x squared. So wherever I see an x, I'm going to put this 0, right? So instead of x squared, I go with 0 squared, right, for this, minus 4 times 0 plus 1. What does that equal to, right? And then what does that equal to is going to go right there. So go ahead if you need to do your calculator. Okay, so I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to go, okay, so that's 0 squared. So I'm going to go parenthesis, 0, parenthesis, squared is going to be y2. And then I have to go like this to come back down. And then minus 4, parenthesis, 0, okay, plus 1. Okay, and enter. And what do I get? I get 1. Okay, so that tells me when x is 0, okay, then f of x should be 1. Let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. 1. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and I'm going to go through the choices and see what works. Okay, so let's go to the first one, A. So it should be when x is 0, f of x is 1. So when this is 0, f of x should be 1. Is it on the graph? No. So that does not work. So that's gone. C, when it's 0, this is 0, right? This should be 1. Is it that one? No. Okay. When it's 0, it should be 1. So yes. So maybe. Don't pick the first one. 0 should be 1. No. This is very easy, okay? So the only one that when this is x is 0 is 1 is this one. That's the only one. Sometimes, this is very important, very important. I want you to read this and translate. Okay, so make sure you translate that, okay? Let's say, for example, that we have another one that maybe is like this, right? And we say, hey, that one also has, this is an example, okay? What happens if we have two choices that work for the same point? Then we have to try another point. Then we can try something easy. Maybe we make x 1, this is, let's say, 2. If this is 1, this is negative 2. So let's try another one. So we put 1 in there. If we do 1 squared, let's see, that's 1 squared minus 4 times 1 plus 1. If you do that on your calculator, you should get 1 squared minus 4 is negative 3 plus 1. So that equals negative 2, okay? So then that would mean that when x is 1, f of x is negative 2. 1, negative 2, yes, still correct. Okay. 1, negative 2, no. Okay. So again, I gave you an example. This was wrong the first time, but I gave you an example of another one that had the same point as this one, but you have to sometimes try another one. Okay. So that's how you do the first question. Okay. Now we look at question number 2. Okay. And basically, the process is the same, okay? So if we go over here, back over here, it's the same process. So if you want to review that, you can. But again, we're going to make a table and we're going to start with 0, okay? So let's see what we get over here. So I get a table x and then f of x, start with 0. I put it in there. So we get, let's see, the first one is 0 and then plus 4. And then we square it. Oops, my bad, wrong. And then we square it, and then plus 3. The most important thing I want to make sure is that you are doing it right on your calculator. So 0 plus 4 squared plus 3. Let's see what that is on the calculator. So we go parenthesis, 0 plus 4 parenthesis. To square, you go this right here, push it up, and goes 2. But then we have to come back down. So you push this button here, and then plus 3, enter, and we get 19, okay? So this becomes 19. So now we go to 0 is right here, 19. That would be, this is 7, it would be way up there. So maybe, I don't know where that's going to go through. So A is a maybe. B, when it's 0, it's 19. Maybe, so this is 7, so it keeps going up. Maybe. So 19 would be up about right here. So maybe. So A and B are maybes. Okay, C, 0 would be right here. 19, another maybe. And this one here, 0, 19, another maybe. So we have 4 possible ones that maybe this goes through. When this is 0, maybe 19's up here. When this is 0, maybe 19's up here, right? We don't know. So now we need to think a little bit more strategically. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at how the graphs are different. Okay, so when we have a situation like that, when multiple choices are maybes, I want you to read this tip right here. Okay, everybody translate that if you don't understand it, or at least read it. But basically, when you have multiple choices, it's nice to start with x equals 0, right? But it doesn't eliminate any choices. All of these are maybes. So what do I mean when I say look at how they're different? Well, one thing I say is, okay, when this is, let me look at this point right here. So let's look at the vertex. Remember, this is the vertex. So this is negative 4, 2. So this one here is negative 4. When x is negative 4, y is 2. Here, when it's negative 4, it is 3, right? So those are different points. Here, when it's 3, this one is also 3, the y, okay? When this is 4, this is 2, okay? So what that tells me is there's a few different things I can do. I can try negative 4 to see if it gives me 3, because when I go negative 4, 3 would be about right there on B, okay? So here, so I want to use positive numbers. These are negative 4 is negative, negative 4 is negative. Let's use this one right here. So when it's basically saying this, when this is 4, this is 2, right? Okay. When this is 4, this is not even there. So that would be about, so 4 would be 1, because these are all negative, right? These are all negative. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So it would be about right here. So this one, okay. So let's try 4 because it's a positive number, okay? So we're going to go 4, and we're going to put it into this equation right there, okay? And so when we do it, what do we get? So I know you can use your calculator. I'm going to let you do that. But what I get is I get a really big number. I get 16 times 16 So I get 4 plus 4 parenthesis squared plus 3. Oops, nope, I got to go back. Clear. Squared. And then I need to come back down. Make sure you come back down. This needs plus 3. Enter. 67. Okay. So that's what I get over here. So when it's 4, it should be 67. Okay. So when it's 4, what is it? It would be way, way up here, right? So this one keeps going. Maybe. So A is a maybe. When it's 4, it could be 67. Way up here, maybe. When it's 4, this D, when it's 4, Y is 4, but that doesn't match that. So we definitely know D is wrong, okay? When this is 4, that's 4, okay? When this is 4, that's 2. So that's wrong also. So it's going to either be A or C. How are they different? Well, look at when X is -4 for both of them, -4, they have different Y values. It's either 2 or 3. So I'm going to try -4 in this equation. Okay, so let's go, and remember, it's got to be negative, not minus. So I'm going to go parenthesis, -4 plus 4 parenthesis to the power of 2. Come back down, plus 3, enter, and I get 3. So when X is -4, it should be 3. Okay, so let's check A and C, the ones that are remaining. And when it's -4, it should be 3. This is -4, 2, so no. So A is wrong. Let me just make sure C is correct. -4, 3. Yeah, so C is correct. So here you go. We had to try 3 choices, but hopefully you get some strategies now. So first, it's easy to try 0, but nothing's eliminated. We cannot see where the graph is going to go, so we cannot eliminate any of them. Then we try a number like 4. We eliminated 2 choices, but we still had 2 choices left. So we looked how they're different. And we saw that when X is -4, and this one, Y is 2. And remember, Y is the same as f of X, okay? The same. Here, -4, 3. So we said, let's use -4. Great number to use, because either it's going to be 3 or 2. And of course, it was 3, so C is correct, okay? So that's how this assignment works. So I want you guys to go ahead and finish the assignment. There's 12 questions. And then when you're done, make sure you put your answers in Canvas to get your A for the day.